Most people fail in business before they even start. Not because they're lazy and not because they're stupid, but because the business model that they've chosen is mathematically impossible. It's doomed from the get-go. This week I saw a reel on Instagram which made this painfully obvious. It was a guy announcing that he had basically invested almost $1 million into the fit out of a new CBD restaurant/bar. All of the comments were people congratulating him and going, how exciting, this is amazing. And my operator side of my brain was just like, holy fuck. He's breaking down all the money that he spent and how much his ongoing operational costs are going to be. Fixed costs, you have no option to pull a lever and decrease them. And I'm just thinking like, holy fuck, like this thing is doomed. Like, forget it. Like, he hasn't even opened the door yet. So I can tell you this business is going to fail. $900,000 on capital expenditure. Things like fitting out the cabinetry, installing the commercial kitchen, doing all of the ducting, all the fans, all the extraction, all the fire compliance work, all that shit is so expensive before you even get to the front of house, which you obviously got to make beautiful with custom big slab of stone. It all adds up to an insane price. And what you got to think is the funding. Now, I don't know, he didn't say where the funding came from. I can only imagine that it would have came from a wealthy family member, most likely parents or, something like that, because it would be very hard to secure funding for something of this nature from a bank or an investor, unless you had an incredibly compelling idea and track record and really some exceptional reason why you were going to succeed, such as being an influencer, for example. But what you need to assume with the funding is that funding needs to be paid back, and the person who funded it is going to want interest. So you're starting the business $900,000 in the hole. Now, that's bad enough as it is. But then on top of this, you've got ongoing rent of $18,000 per month. $18,000 every single month. So every time you get to the first of the month, that resets. And for example, if we take that $900,000 that's already been invested, say we want that paid back over 5 years, that's $15,000 a month, excluding interest. If you want to whack interest on that, call that like an $18,000 per month payment. That's massive, right? So every single month, if you want to pay that $900K back, you're already 15 grand principal in the hole. Add the rent on top of that, you're now over $30,000 in the hole at the start of each month. And you might be thinking, well, that's fine because we're going to be selling cocktails for $26. But when you sell a cocktail, it's not $26 profit. It may well be that the alcohol and the ingredients only cost you $2 or $3. So you think, okay, $23 profit. But that's not the case, because you've got the huge expense of staff. Wages in Australia, which is where this was, are absolutely sky high. Even minimum wages for workers in hospitality are through the roof. And so that is a major cost which is going to eat into your margin on anything that you're selling. So you've got the product cost, you've got the wages, then you've got the ongoing operational costs of just simply running the place. Electricity, insurance, waste disposal, all these types of things. Once you add up all of the realistic fixed costs of just keeping the lights on in a business like this, plus the debt that you want to pay back and the ongoing rent, you're looking at fixed overheads of significantly more than $50,000 per month, realistically probably between 80 to 120 per month. That is a massive, massive challenge. Think about that for a second. Every single month, before you've made $1 of profit, $1, you have to meet this break-even point, which is effectively equal to all of your fixed costs that must be covered. And I thought about it in terms of, well, how many cocktails is this guy going to have to sell realistically? And I computed based on, the operational cost that this business was likely to have. So let's look at the maths and let's be conservative. Let's assume that for every cocktail that this business sells, they make a margin of $15, which can go towards these fixed costs, such as the ongoing repayments of the debt from the capital investment and the rent and things like that. $15. Let's assume also that these fixed costs are low. Now, just paying back that capital expenditure plus the rent, just those two things is more than $30,000. But let's just assume that the total amount of fixed costs amounts to about 50 grand per month, which is less than I think it would truly be, but let's run with that figure. Say the fixed cost of 50 grand, we got $15 margin on a cocktail, We're talking about 3,300 cocktails every single month just to keep the lights on. Like, that is fucking crazy. That is a lot of cocktails. That is more than, how many days are in a given month? Call it 28, 30 days. We're talking more than 100 cocktails every single day. And this isn't to make any profit. This is just to keep the lights on. This is just for the privilege of being able to open again tomorrow. And that, to me, is just insane. And that's why so many of these businesses, they pop up. There's a little bit of an opening buzz at the start. People see this new business, they go and try it out, and they're really busy. And then the demand curve just drops off, and they have this massive pressure that they have to meet every single month. And you see them pop up, they do well for a little bit, then they might rebrand, or they might try a whole bunch of publicity things to try and get more people through the door, and then they just disappear and they shut. And I'm sure all of you have seen this before. You see a business pop up, and within 24 months it's gone, and it's either been replaced or the place has gone empty. And the reason for this is because your success or failure is honestly determined. 80% of it is determined before you've even opened the business by whether you've chosen a business model that actually works. Choosing a business model is the first move on the chessboard, and if you fuck it up, every single thing downstream just becomes a firefight. People obsess over branding, logo, menu, vibes, shit like that, but they never actually ask the question that decides their fate. Will this survive a spreadsheet? Like, the hospitality business model is about as bad as it can get. You've got massive costs up front that you need to recoup through the investment of getting the place just ready to open the door and let the first customer in. Then on top of that, you've got high fixed costs in the form of rent, staff, high competition, you've got unpredictable demand. The model literally requires top 1% publicity, marketing, execution. It requires you to be lucky. It genuinely requires everything to go right for you. You can make it work. There's obviously plenty of examples, but it's fucking hard. It's like you're stacking everything against you. So much difficulty. Like, once you drop 900K, you're married to that lease. You have no agility. You can't pivot. You can't move. High fixed costs just create this death pressure. Imagine the feeling, the month ticks over, and every single month, at the start of the month, you've just got this $50,000 hole that you've got to dig yourself out of before you can even make any money for yourself. The weight of that is just crushing. You've got to push insane volume to make a mediocre profit, if any profit at all. And demand is unstable and outside of your control. You've got no pricing power, no recurring revenue, you've got no predictable pipeline, and there's no leverage in the model. Every dollar of revenue requires spend in labor, ingredients, and time. It's literally a knife fight with maths, and the maths always wins. For the sake of comparison, compare that to a better business model. And I'll just use the example of the business model that I'm running for the business I'm building on this channel, just as a point of comparison so you can see the stark contrast. The cost to start my business, which is effectively a high-skill business-to-business service model, the cost was zero. There's no inventory, there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to store, and there's nothing to waste. There's nothing that's going to expire. There's no fixed overhead. I only incur cost after revenue. I bill my clients before I do any work for them. I only hire staff or contractors after I've already secured the deals in the pipeline to justify hiring, not before. My customer acquisition is free because I do direct outbound, which is literally sending DMs and emails to strangers, and I post content, which is free. I'm not running paid ads. So acquisition is free. Deals are extremely high value. One cold DM can be worth 5 to 6 figures to me in lifetime value. So realistically, and the revenue is recurring in nature. I could only close one new client every 60 to 90 days, and the business would flourish. The whole working capital equation is positive. You get money in from the client, which then funds the operation. It funds the hiring. It's not that you've got to lay all this money down and then hope or pray. It's the complete opposite. I don't need to sell 3,000 or 5,000 cocktails in a month. I actually only need one sale, if that. Even one every 2 months is plenty. And think about that for a second. Like that is insane. The bar to succeed in the first model, the hospitality model, opening a bar or restaurant, is insanely high. You need so much to go well for you. You need to do so much right. You basically need to get everything perfect. There's no margin for error. With what I'm doing, you can fuck it up 10 times in a row and still be fine, because the bar to succeed is so low. One client will pretty much pay for your living expenses, and then anything after that is just all upside. It's just crazy to me how some businesses need 4,000 or 6,000 transactions a month just to break even every single month. And some businesses need just one. Some require $1 million before you can even start making sales. And some you can start straight away with nothing. And this is probably the most important thing of all. Some require absolutely perfect execution and a bit of luck to succeed. Some just require you to be average and just show up. The business model that you choose defines the difficulty level of your life. Choose a good one and you're going to get leverage, speed, and cash flow. Choose a bad one and you're going to get stress, debt, and burnout. And most people choose based on passion and not unit economics. And this is why so many people get crushed. So before you commit years of your life and literally everything that you own to an idea, ask the only question that matters. Does this survive a spreadsheet? Because no amount of passion can save a business model with fatal maths. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I drop one like this every 48 hours, and I hope to see you in the next one.